This is a government that wasted all our monies. And today you turn around and
what do you mean by waste?
But if I just told you that, example, $2 million was
You
paid
mean
into
they are
a phony
frivolous?
phony company, and many other investment. If you have a country whose president decide to be renting plane that will be waiting for him on the tarmac and be paying all kinds of money, and when you have his appointees come to sit on air and tell you that it is because of COVID, it's because of Russia and Ukraine, that is why we are suffering. These very two countries they are mentioning where the fight is happening is all over supplying grains to countries. And you sit here, a country that have not engaged in any war situation, and you want to be citing COVID and Ukraine and Russian war. Look around the world and tell me which other country is charging COVID levies. It's only Ghana. That as a result of something they claim affected businesses, government have decided to tax these very businesses that were affected and Ghanaians who were also affected in the name of COVID. You remember all the concerns that were raised during all kinds of deals that they were engaging in, that we could have utilized even our own Noguchi to build their capacity to run certain tests, and even if they were charges, they would have made the money, and the money would have stayed in this country and be used in developing other sectors. You know what they decided? They decided to give away these to a foreign company, and they were charging and taking everything virtually away. You took all these decisions to mess up the country. Then today you come and sit and you are talking about COVID-19, Russia and Ukraine war. But we will continue to oppose taxes that don't make sense. Let me tell you.
What do you mean by the taxes don't make sense?
Well, let me just give you one
Because he makes
example.
a good argument that we need to raise revenue.
Let me. You know, Bank of Ghana spends so much to replace notes because we were engaged in cash, dealing with cash. So we embarked on an agenda to promote a cashless society, so that people will now deal with purchases that they will be using, maybe online system, pay through your Momo, do all those kind of things. When we started doing this, it was reducing the rate of replacing what? Worn out notes. That was huge savings for a country because we spend so much money to print money. It's not like when you are going to print money or replace notes, it's done for free. It's one of the high-level security printing that they spend so much money to print. You have a government that decides that you, Roland, if you choose to pay for services using your Momo, you will be charged a tax. If I decide to go to my bank to withdraw cash and pay for the same service, I don't get charged. Roland, does such a levy or tax make sense to you? That a tax system you will introduce that will end up shifting people away from cashless to dealing more with cash, leading to running out of what? Notes. Will you consider that as a sensible tax? It's not sensible, but they have introduced it. Today we sit here, they are introduced all kinds of taxes, including a WCA tax. That when you ride a motorbike.
You mean the emissions tax?
Smoke.
The WCA, I understand you.
Yeah, smoke tax, emission tax. That when you ride a motorbike, you must pay. When you drive Aboboya, you must pay tax. When you have a car, you must pay tax.
But Mr. Adam, we are told that the rationale is for us to transition from fossil fuel emission country that constantly also contributes to the destruction of the ozone layer, the climate, etc.
So what a sensible government would have done is first to build the infrastructure before moving on to say that I have built and laid the infrastructure.
Which is what?
Roland, where do you come from?
Volta region.
Volta region,
Central,
somewhere far away. If you decide today that as a result of the smoke tax, emission tax, emission tax, you have the capacity and you want to buy an electric vehicle. If you live in maybe, let's say, Bando,
or let's say I'm going to Keta,
or you are going to Keta to stay there for a week, or you are going to Jasikan, or you are going to Bimbela, and you want to use electric car because government is taxing and you are not interested in paying that tax, and you buy an electric car. Where is the infrastructure for you in Bimbela, for you in Nkwanta, for you in Jasikan to be able to what? Charge your vehicle. So if I'm in Boku, or I am in Tamale, or I'm in Bolga, and because of this tax, I said, okay, I'm going to do an e-vehicle. I'm going to get an e-vehicle. What it means is that you have to drive all the way back to Accra here to come and charge your vehicle. And by the time you drive back, it's already discharged. So government have not created the necessary infrastructure for introducing all kinds of taxes. Their intention is, let's just take the money, and waste it. Can you be discussing taxation and the responsible government and not talk about the SML deals, where MPA has been properly capacitated and they are rendering a service? A government decide to sign an agreement with another party to be taking 24 million Ghana cedi every month for doing virtually nothing. Something the MPA is already doing. Then you sit here and tell us there's no money. So we have to continue to tax and continue to tax, continue to introduce new taxes and taxing people out of businesses and survival. That is what we are kicking against. We are not speaking this language, or Labour is not speaking the kind of language they are speaking because they feel like, is Labour a political party? Well, this not
so you're saying Labour is justified?
Labour is seriously justified. The same Guta people who are complaining today, were they not some of them who reduced their items just because this party won elections as a way of welcoming them and support? How today, when they are speaking against your maladministration, you turn around and say, it is because they want to come to power, it is because they want to do this. We should stop this presentation of us as if we are victims. When Dr. Baumia was talking about we moving from taxation to production, was he not in this country? Was he not in this country? Was he speaking?
Are you saying that because he said that we're paying him back, or is because the existing circumstances make it available?
What are the circumstances? Which circumstances should make us tax the people the way we are taxing now? There exists no such excuse.